Lifelines. Today we have Comrade Prakash Karat with us, the former General Secretary of the CPIM. Comrade Prakash, good to have you with us. Welcome to Lifelines.
Thank you.
Comrade, today with the US-Israeli forces' aggression on Iran and the countermeasures being taken by Iran, there's a lot of concern regarding West Asia. So let's discuss that in this episode of Lifelines. The attack came even as Iran was part of a discussion with US under Omani mediation. In fact, the Omani foreign minister said on the 27th of February that they were very close to a deal. That Iran had agreed to not create a bomb and that they wouldn't even stockpile nuclear material. Yet, on the very next day, on the 28th, this attack was carried out. What do you think was the real reason for this attack? And what is the Israeli, angle also here?
Well, if you would talk about the immediate reason, you must relate it to the historical background,
Yes.
which is that in West Asia, Israel, which has been from the beginning acting as the agent for US imperialism, has been steadily expanding its influence and control using military force. And today, there's only one country, Iran, which stands against Israel and the United States of America. And before that, we saw how they destroyed Iraq, Libya, Syria. These were countries which were part of the resistance to US imperialism and Israeli expansionism. So now Iran is the prime target, both for Israel and for the United States of America. Iran is not like the other countries. It's the biggest country in the region. It has a 90 million population. It's both economically and militarily comparatively a big power there in the region. So taking on Iran was the priority for Netanyahu and Israel. Not now, for a pretty long time.
Yes.
And America under Trump has unhesitatingly now gone along with the Israeli game plan.
Yes.
In that, you mentioned about the talks which are being held, indirect talks between US and Iran through Omani mediation. There is a pattern to that. Last year, there were talks going on. After Trump came to power, there were talks going on. And then, while the talks were on, Israel launched its aggression.
Yes.
The 12-day war. And America joined in by bombing their nuclear sites.
Yes.
So this is a repetition of what happened. Same thing, talks were being held, and at the same time, Israel and America were coordinating to look for the most opportune time to attack Iran. So the talks were just a cover, a camouflage for their preparations. Everybody knew they were mobilizing their whole navy and military resources around Iran at that time. So I don't think Iran was deceived. Iran knew very well that there is this threat.
Yes.
But they felt that if there is a possibility of a negotiated settlement, they should go for it. So the real reason is this: they want to, like they did in Iraq and Libya and Syria, they want a regime change. And if the regime change is not successfully implemented by this aggression, they'll at least try to destroy the economic and material basis of Iran so that it can never sort of rise again. I think that is the main aim of this aggression.
Comrade, you mentioned two things. One, the Americas' attack on Iran's nuclear sites. Second, you mentioned the regime change. We'll come to the regime change in a bit, but this attack on the nuclear facilities that they had earlier during the 12 Days War. After that, Trump had said that their nuclear program is finished. They were able to finish Iran's nuclear program.
Yeah.
But now, just as this attack began, Netanyahu said that they were close to developing a bomb, and that is why they attacked. So,
No,
how come
they have been shifting their reasons all the time. They this time came out clearly saying they are aiming for regime change. Netanyahu made that very clear. At the same time, in the same breath, they said this is a preemptive strike.
Yes.
Trump also, if you see, in the course of the last 5 days, he has given a variety of reasons.
Yes.
They're close to making the bomb. They're close to attacking America. You know, various reasons are given.
Yes.
But the real thing is, the nuclear thing is obviously a pretext. They had decided to go all out and go for regime change. That is why the first strikes itself was aimed at the top leadership of Iran to eliminate them.
Yes. So you mentioned this regime change that they've all been talking about. But, Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary, he said that this war is not about regime change. At the same time, Trump has told a so-called exhortation to the Iranian people, take your country.
That's what I'm saying.
What do you think would be the end game then?
Contradictory reasons. Basically, Trump is going along with Netanyahu's war aims here.
Yes.
Because as far as Netanyahu is concerned, nothing short of a complete change in the system in Iran is acceptable to them. And now that they've got full American backing, they want to go for broke. They want to go ahead and get it done. Because don't forget, they had first they attacked or targeted what they call Iranian proxies.
Yes.
You know, the resistance, axis of resistance that they had. Hamas in Gaza,
Yes.
Hezbollah in Lebanon, and the Syrian, that is also, after all, Israel occupies part of Syria also,
Yes.
Golan Heights.
Yes.
So getting rid of the Assad government, their regime. So they succeeded in all these three, weakening these three major allies of Iran. And now Israel thinks that time is ripe to go for the jugular, go for the Iranian regime itself.
You've essentially made it very clear that this is Israel's war, and US is just giving them whatever support is needed to carry on their agenda. But from the US perspective, just a few months back, the United States President Donald Trump was saying that he should be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. And after he wasn't, he said that now I don't have to work for peace anymore. He has bombed 7 or 8 countries, including Iran now. The previous president who won a Nobel Peace Prize, Barack Obama, even under him, as many countries were bombed, thousands of civilians were killed. Why is it that the US is so focused on creating conflicts and wars?
As far as the Peace Prize is concerned, that's maybe a personal quirk of Trump. But don't forget, Obama was given a Nobel Peace Prize and he unleashed attacks.
Yes.
You see? He helped in Libya, the bombings, all that. So this Peace Prize is a farce, according to me. Not irrespective of this Peace Prize itself. They're giving it to that lady from Venezuela
Yes.
who's been inviting Trump to come and invade. So what is this Peace Prize?
Yes.
So that's not the issue. The issue is the Americans think bombing brings peace. You see, they're ensuring peace by bombing countries. That is the twisted logic of American imperialism. So at the present today, Trump could not resist, though he has been saying, I will not go for external wars, endless war, etc. That is the appeal to his base, the MAGA base. But
To the American
he
public
could
as
not
well.
resist the what you might say, the opportunity. For example, Gaza, Israel commits genocide in Gaza, but Trump sees an opportunity, to put it crudely, as a business project, enterprise. He hopes to, through peace board, have the reconstruction and his real estate interests of him and his business cronies. So Iran also, for them, American hegemony has always been there in West Asia. Part of that is exercised through Israel. And finishing off Iran from their point of view seems to be for them an assurance or a guarantee that American hegemony will continue in this oil-rich region. So all other commitments or promises he made earlier have been forgotten.
Yes, and for peace, they don't mind bombing hospitals and schools and all that also.
Nothing new about it.
Let's talk about India now. It is immediately after Prime Minister Modi's visit to Israel that this attack was launched. Despite the fact that Iran was the nation that was being attacked, Prime Minister Modi himself has said that he has spoken to Israel and UAE but not to Iran. It was not too far back in history that we were open to buying oil, natural gas and all that, laying a pipeline, all this with Iran. What has changed since then and why?
No, there is a complete turnaround. You see, as far as Iran is concerned, it's not just oil and gas or anything from Iran. We have had very long historical ties with Iran, historical, cultural ties, etc. And Iran is a Shia country. And India has the largest Shia population outside of Iran, you see. So there is this historical, cultural ties also. So Modi's visit to Israel at this crucial juncture, when already it was known America is preparing to attack Iran and they mobilized all their forces. And Israel is very much part of the plan. I think this was a deliberate plan to have Modi visit there to give further cover to the aggression plans. So that when Modi is there, obviously the Iranians would think they would not be embarking on such an aggression at this time. And the way the Israelis laid out the red carpet for Modi, they also realized the value of this visit at this juncture. It will legitimize their aggressive plans. And as you know, less than 40 hours after his departure, the attack took place. So, despite all that, for form's sake at least, we would expect the Indian government to deplore this violence or attack in some form, however mild. But that didn't happen. It only expressed concern about the situation in the West Asia and asking for, cessation or ending of hostilities generally. Worse than that, not only did Indian government not condemn this attack on Iran's sovereignty, when Ayatollah Khamenei was killed, assassinated, he is the supreme leader, he is the head of state of Iran. Not a word has been said against it. This shows that the Indian government has completely turned around our foreign policy and our policy in West Asia. We saw this in Gaza when the genocide was going on. In 2 years, you did not find one statement condemning Israel's war on the Gaza people. All that they talked about is, yes, humanitarian relief should be there, etc. And even in the United Nations, they didn't vote condemning this war. So what happened vis-a-vis Gaza is now being repeated in Iran. So India has decided that it is part of the American-led alliance in West Asia. Earlier, even before Trump, when Biden was there, we joined that, what is it called, I2U2.
Yes.
US, United Emirates, Israel, India. We joined that grouping.
Yes.
So the others are all allies of America, whether it's Israel or UAE, and we also joined. So our alignment is clear, and though we do not express it, it's very clear that we are for this Israel and American game plan in Iran.
Speaking of being allied to the US, under US pressure, we recently, supposedly have, committed to bringing down our oil imports from Russia. With the developments now in West Asia, oil prices are going up. Do you think this decision that India has taken to not rely on Russia for oil imports is going to come and bite us in the back? If so, is there any way in which India is going to rethink this foreign policy angle that you just mentioned, completely going ahead with US?
No, it's already built into what they have decided. Don't forget, the trade agreement or trade deal which is not yet signed, but the framework was announced. We have committed, this is not a trade agreement, it's an imposition on you, that we'll buy $500 billion worth of goods in the next 5 years. And one important component of that, it can be only if you're buying more oil and gas from the United States. So you're importing $40 billion now last year.
Yes.
So if you want to make it 100 billion a year, you have to increase immediately 60 billion. Where will you get it from? Two easy sources for them. Not easy, that is the only thing which we will be trying to buy, will be oil and gas and arms, defense equipment. That will give the heft for this increase. So oil prices will rise, they've started rising already, and we will be buying US oil.
Yes.
There may be marginal some buying of Russian oil, but the main thing will be the US is also going to benefit from this turmoil in the oil markets, because it will be able to ensure, already they have control over Venezuelan oil, Iran oil will be out of the market, so they will consolidate their position as a oil exporter, and India will pay the price for it, of course. We'll have to pay higher prices, but this is part of the commitment we have made already on the trade deal.
Because you mentioned the trade deal as an add-on to that, you see, the US Supreme Court has, the tariffs that were imposed, because of which this discussion on trade deal, the government said that they went forward with it. Those tariffs have been taken down by the US Supreme Court. Several nations that were discussing with the US said that no, we're not going to go ahead with the trade deals. But India doesn't seem to be thinking along those lines.
No, it's a bit more complicated than that. You see, the Supreme Court has said using the emergency powers, that is not illegal for you to do. So they will find ways. Already they've increased, they announced up to 15%. They're working on it. And Trump has warned these countries, don't think you can wriggle out of the deal. We will then take harsher steps. So India is in no position to bargain or pressurize or get anything more. I think in a month's time, the whole thing will become clear. That if India agrees to 18%,
what they want.
this will be part of a proper agreement. Yes. So they can say that this is an agreement. It's not.
It's not part of the tariff.
It's not a unilateral imposition of tariff by Trump. These two countries have agreed on a bilateral agreement. So we have to wait and see. India is not in a position today to take any any repair of this defective agreement. I don't think they'll be rectify this in any way.
Let alone take an independent step.
All the hope is that keep your heads down and somehow this storm will pass, and we have already surrendered on these things.
Yes. Speaking of the storm passing, in any war, it's always the ordinary people who suffer, especially women and children. We are already seeing that in Iran, girls' school that was bombed down,
165 killed.
children. What do you think is the way to end this right now, or at least sooner than later? Also,
And what?
these attacks that are going on against Iran, the countermeasures that Iran is taking, how can you ensure peace in that region?
No, the countermeasures cannot be put on the same plane as the
Definitely
aggression. They have a right to defend their country from aggression. And what they have said is they can't reach America, so the American bases in the Gulf region, they will target them. They made it very clear from the beginning that they will not spare them. They're not attacking UAE, they're attacking the American installations and bases there. So it's a very difficult situation for Iran. You see. In such a war, it's an asymmetrical war.
Yes, it is.
Iran, if it survives, it doesn't have to win the war. It has to survive.
Yes.
If it survives, then America has lost the game, you see. So somehow they have to survive, you see. Their countermeasures also, it can't be limitless because they have a stock of missiles.
Yes.
They can't replenish now. So all they have to do is find ways to survive. So far, they've shown quite clear strategic clarity and ingenuity on how to meet the situation.
Yes.
So as far as they are concerned, they have to live to fight another day.
Yes.
See? And whatever you do from the air, and if you may cause a lot of destruction, but you cannot break a government or a system this way. What they say, through attacks by air, you can't bring regime change. They have to put boots on the ground, which I don't think any of them will be prepared to do. So let us hope that Iran will be resilient enough to continue to put up resistance and not get overwhelmed by this superior firepower.
All right, Comrade, thank you
Yeah.
for an illuminating discussion. I think with that we will wrap up this episode of Left Lens. Thank you.